What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while. It's been about a month, I think, since the last time I uploaded. My life's gotten super busy with work, everything. I don't want to use it as an excuse, but my whole routine has been wake up at 5:30, go to the gym, come back, trade, and then immediately go to work. So it's been a little packed for me. I haven't been able to make the trade recaps after. And after work, most days, I kind of just go for like 4 to 7 mile runs. So after that, after everything, I know it's an excuse, but I'm tired. I'm tired. So with that being said, again, I don't know if I'm going to stick to it, but I'm going to try and be as consistent with uploading as possible. But two things that I wanted to do with this video is number one, how to fix your trading psychology, obviously, or at least help you get into that general direction. And number two is the trade I took today, which we'll be getting into first. So last month, I think, since the last time you guys watched a video, I was trying to pass that combine. I ended up passing that combine. I haven't really been touching it, but regardless, here is that trade. Also, I have two accounts right now. One of them is a combine, but I've already almost passed it. I just bought it. I think it was like Tuesday, but we're not rushing it. Again, since I've uploaded, it's only been one trade a day. That's my rule. And again, with the way I scale, I just scale. I start off with 5 micros and then add 2 more micros as the time goes on and I keep winning. And the reason why I do that isn't because of the fact that I'm scared to lose this account or whatever, but it helps you build good habits and discipline, and it forces you to actually be able to have space in terms of losing, right? So if you just take an account and try and pass it with 5 micros and you're working your way up, rather than just starting off with mini, and like let's say you had a 35-point stop loss, that's $700 gone, boom, damn near half of your drawdowns gone. Unless you're like a consistently profitable trader, I don't exactly advise that way of passing accounts. Unless they're like really high probable setups and it's just very easy, then rip it, you know what I mean? But anyways, we're going to go over the trade for today. I actually took this with 6 micros. I just didn't feel like risking a lot considering how these started to look. And I just wasn't really thinking that I took the best setup. But it followed my rules, followed my system, so I had to rip it, right? So coming into the day, I was heavily bullish. I wanted to see price come down, manipulate lower, take out some sort of lows. I had this low marked out, these lows, and there was no way we're going to go down here, but at least I thought, but that's what happened today. But thankfully I caught the long before that. So the reasonings why I took this trade was I saw this SMT, we had this insane turtle soup, price started to chop around, but ES started to lead the indexes by starting to pump up, and I take that as a good sign. So I kind of slapped my entry as soon as price started to actually show some sort of good volatility, kept my stops at this low, and then I just kept my TP at this high, which ended up being hit in like, actually I was right here, and it actually ended up hitting in like 4 minutes. So that was my trade for the day. It's literally the same setup for me every single day, same time. I'm just doing one trade a day, win or lose. You just hop on, hop off. And statistically, a lot of people don't understand this, is even if you have a 60% win rate, you should be able to pass the fucking account. You should be able to get a payout. The only time that you can't do those things is when you let emotions get involved, and that's when everything starts getting fucked up. So now that we've had our trade recap, also there's a lot more confidence to it than this, but this was such a strong reasoning for me to take this trade was, again, this SMT. I would count this as external liquidity just because of how we started at New York Open. But again, same setup as every day I take a trade. I'd want to see an SMT, some sort of turtle soup, IFEG disrespect, good displacement for sure. That's the one thing I talk to you guys about. And yeah, I mean, I haven't really changed my trading style that much differently compared to when I started this YouTube channel. The only thing that's really changed that has helped me clean up my trading was my psychology and the way I view losses and the way I view trading as a whole. So I'm going to get into the actual point of the video, which is psychology based, and it is my top tips. Pause. It's my top tips for actually staying consistently disciplined and actually being able to follow your system and your rules. So number one is you have to actually detach yourself from the outcome. And before everybody says like, oh, Mark, that's like the easiest thing for you to say, it's the most obvious thing, a lot of people don't know how to do it. And that's why a lot of people actually end up blowing their accounts right before they're ready for a payout, you know, blowing their fucking combines like literally an hour into buying them, you know, blowing the combine that they've been working on for like a fucking month, and they felt impatient and they blew the account. So all of these issues, they all stem from one thing, and that's attachment to the outcome of your trading. And the fastest way to get around that is to think more logically. And I know that's harder. It's harder to do than to say, you know, easier said than done. However, I will be going over the things that you guys have to understand in order for you to actually be able to detach yourself from the money. So I'm not going to go over it in chronological order or even like I'm going to have a set list, but these are my top things that I've noticed for myself that have helped me out and my friends out on our journey to just becoming insanely rich. Because honestly, that's everybody's goal, right? Everybody's goal in trading is to make those 30, 40, 50K, 100K months. And that's not crazy in trading. It's not. But the only thing that's stopping you from getting to that point, and me, is my psychology. So now that I have better psychology than I did a couple months ago, I'm praying that I keep the exact same habits, exact same amount of discipline again and again and again, no matter win or loss. Sorry. But anyways, number one is you have to understand it's all a probability game. You guys, I'm sure you guys watching my videos have some sort of strategy down. And if you don't think it's good, pay for a mentorship. That's the biggest thing. Pay for a mentorship. Pay for a mentorship. It's going to be $100. $100, maybe more, you know, but it's so worth it because you're trying to make thousands of dollars and you don't know what to do, but you won't invest $100 a month on a mentor. You're a joke. You really don't want it. You just want to make the money. But you have to put the money, time, dedication into this in order for you to be able to actually improve, right? My second tip for sure has to be the fact that, again, you have to understand it's a probability game. If you have a strategy that yields you 60%, 55%, all you have to do is follow it. It's a logic and numbers game. The moment you deviate from that, you know, the moment you FOMO, the moment you overtrade, the moment you revenge trade, the moment you over leverage is when you start fucking with that probability. Why would you do that, right? If I came up to you and I was like, hey, here's a 70% win rate strategy, all you have to do is follow this every single day, take one trade a day. 99% of people can't do that. And I know people are going to have bad days, right, where they take a bad setup, and that happens, right? And sometimes it's not in your strategy. But guess what's going to save you? Keeping your hand off that computer, keeping that hand off your mouse, keeping your hand off your phone. You just walk away. And I know it's easier to say than to do. However, if you're trading on prop firms, because I assume everybody in my video is trading prop firms compared to a live account, it's very easy to fix that. What you're going to do is you're going to buy a TopStep account, either the standard path or the zero activation account, and then you just set a one trade a day lockout. And for the people who actually struggle to keep that one trade a day lockout, and you're about to lose your trade, and you're sitting there trying to undo the trade per day lockout setting, all you have to do is every night before the next market open, you just lock those settings out. So now the next day, let's say you take a loss or whatever, or you're ready to go on tilt, you already locked those settings. You can't change it now. Now you're locked out for 8 hours, and now you have to sit there and chin that loss. But that's the best part about it, is the more you expose yourself to loss and you can't exactly do anything about it, aka the lockout, you're locked out for the whole trading day, the better it's going to be for you, because you're accustoming your brain to being okay with walking away. Because now you're training your mind to say, hey, I can't do anything about it. What am I going to do about it? I'm locked out. What are you going to do? Buy another account just so you can inverse your position or keep chasing wins? It's pointless. So that's the number one thing I'm going to tell you guys, is to set, or second thing, I guess, is to set that trade lockout on and keep it on. The moment you take that off is the moment you're going to fuck yourself. You're not holding anybody else back but you. Right? Some people, you guys may be doing this for your family, you might be doing this for yourself, your girlfriend, whoever it may be. You're fucking it up for not only you, but for them, because you can't keep your hand off a button. You see how ridiculous that sounds? You can't sit there and see red on your screen for one day. You can't do that. You can't walk away from your computer. It's ridiculous. Like, imagine yourself in a scenario where you're profitable and you're seeing your unprofitable self sitting there spamming buttons. And even if it wasn't spamming buttons and you blew your account in 2 trades, how do you think you would react to watching that version of you put on 2 minis on a setup that doesn't even make any sense? You'd probably feel like a dumbass. Because I know that's how I felt for the longest time, like a year ago when I first started learning how to trade. It sucked. It's not fun blowing accounts, not fun ending on red days, but it happens, and you have to be okay with that. A lot of people forget that trading's not supposed to be easy. If everybody could do this, then everybody would be rich. Prop firms wouldn't be making money from people who can't keep their hands off a button. Everybody would be theoretically rich, but that's not how it works. You have to learn self-control, because guys, prop firms are designed to fuck with your head. The best part about this is, like, the funniest part is, a lot of people, and this is what I've noticed from my personal experience, is I see a lot of people blow their accounts on 2 occasions. And this is the highest probability times that they're going to blow their accounts. 1 is if they're close to a payout. And then 2 is when they're close to passing their combines. And now, if you put it in a more logical way, think about it this way. Let's say it took you 2 weeks to build your very first payout, and you only need 1 winning day left to secure it. You don't get that winning day, you're down $200, but you're ready for a $1,400 payout. It's your first payout. It's a great amount of money. But then now you're sitting there, I could get this payout today, blah, 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 and you keep trading. Why are you so impatient? The money's going to come to you anyway. And even then, if it takes you another 3 days to get that payout, who the fuck cares? Who cares, bro? The money will still hit your bank account, so why do you care so much? And here's the thing, it's a lot of people will care because they don't know how to shut their mouths. And here's I think this would be number 3 or 4, I'm not so sure. But it's just the messages, I hope you guys are understanding it, is you need to shut your mouth when it comes to trading. Stop telling everybody in your life that you trade. Stop telling your mom. Stop telling your dad. Stop telling your girlfriend, your friends, just so you can get cool points. Because now, you know what you do? You add pressure onto yourself. And when you add pressure onto yourself and people have this expectation of you and you put that expectation on yourself, what happens? You are more likely to fuck your trading up. Because now when you're taking a red day, it's not just, I took a red day, that feels bad. I was supposed to get a payout today, but I couldn't win. Now it's not just that, right? Now it's just, I promised my girlfriend a nice date. I promised my mom this. I promised my dad this. I promised to buy my sister this. Like, bro, you see what you do? Why do you have to tell everybody you're trying to trade? Shut up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. You need to shut the fuck up when it comes to what you're going to do in trading. Until you start doing the things you say you're going to do, and you say this to yourself, shut the fuck up, because nobody needs to know you're doing this. not your mom, not your dad, not your best friend. And if you guys are, trading with a bunch of friends or whatever, family, tell them the same thing. Because the moment you guys add expectation to yourself is the moment you start fucking up, right? And I know I'm subjected to this because it's happened to me before. Here's an example. It was in March. I was ready for a 4K payout. And I told my mom, hey, Mom, I'm going to go out, take you and my stepdad for dinner. I'm going to take you guys out. I'm going to buy you this. I'm going to buy you that. And then when I was 2 days away from getting that 4K payout, I lost the first day, walked away. Second day, I won. So and then the very last day, which is the third day, the one winning day I needed left, what happened? Oh, well, now I'm sitting there in my computer chair and I'm thinking, man, I just took a loss. It's $200. I was damn near break even. I could do one more. And I ended up blowing the account because I'm human. It happens. But you're trying to take these steps so that you're preventing these things from happening before they even come in your mind. Right? And the cool thing about this is that if you actually set that trade lockout in, it doesn't matter if you're thinking about that. It doesn't matter if you want to overtrade or over leverage. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen unless you do it on your first trade and you're over leveraging. That's the only time you're going to fuck yourself, right? I'm not going to sit here and preach, oh, guys, collect data, collect this, collect that. No, that's some dork shit. You know what I mean? Like, obviously backtest, obviously collect data on your system, but I'm not going to tell you guys need to keep backtesting more. No, that's not the answer. The answer is the thing is you guys probably already know how to trade. You guys just don't have the self-control. That's it. That's literally the reasoning as to why most people will stay unprofitable, and Top Step's going to be a very happy prop firm, or whatever prop firm you guys use. They're going to be very happy because you have no self-control. They literally got teams of psychologists to make these rules to fuck you over, and you're falling right into their hands. You are the 99%. And the only thing that stops you from being that 1% is yourself. It's not the strategy. You could watch fucking 30, 40 hours worth of strategy videos and you're still never going to have a 100% win rate. Never. Never. You can go on an insane win streak like, Patrick did. I don't know if you guys keep up with that, but on his Instagram story, he won like 54 days in a row. Yeah, that's achievable, right? But the thing is, you guys aren't on that level yet. I'm not either. I lose trades. I lost one trade out of the 4 I took this week. But I walked away, right? And that's the beauty of it all. Because if I didn't walk away from that loss, I would have blown that Express account. If I didn't walk away, I wouldn't have an Express account. If I didn't walk away last month, I wouldn't have had an Express account. If I didn't walk away months before and I was taking the payouts, I wouldn't have had those payouts. Do you see how it's all interlinked from that one single decision you make every single day when you trade? Win or lose. Yeah, some people will sit there and then they'll P&L like what, $400 a day or $400 on one day, and they're not happy. Why? It's still money, you still won. If I gave you $400 right now, you'd be happy as hell. But you guys see it in a computer screen and you guys video gameize it in your head that it's not real money to you. But you have to understand this is real money because you bought the account. When you decide to be stupid for 5 minutes, that $100 or whatever you paid is gone forever. It's like you're not going to get it back. You know what I mean? But it's that one silly decision of continuously clicking that button that's going to fuck you over. The second, I don't know how many points I've made at this point, but the next point that I'm going to make on how to detach yourself from the outcome is to actually have something else to look forward to every single day. You have to. If your life is just all about trading, it's going to suck for you. Because now you can only trade once a day, and if you lose, you're going to replay that in your head again and again and again and again and again. And guess what happens when you replay that loss in your head? The next day, you're going to overthink and you're going to fuck yourself over. So you have to learn how to have a life outside of trading, and you have to learn how to let shit go. If you're the type of person who holds grudges and whatnot, you have to do some personal work first. I'm so serious, because an angry man cannot be a trader, right? A greedy man cannot be a trader, They can for a bit. You might have spurts of good luck, but the thing that requires you, or that is required from you to be profitable or to even get a payout, is to be controlled, is to have discipline, is to be able to tell yourself no. It's impulse control. And I know we're going to go off topic a little bit, but excuse me. For those of you who goon constantly, you got to do something else with your life. You're sitting there, the majority of the people that watch my videos based on my YouTube algorithm, whatever, you guys are like in your 20s. So in your 20s, you need to focus on actually getting your life together instead of just sitting there in your room doing this and doom scrolling on Instagram. You need to have some sort of impulse control. You need something externally that keeps you disciplined. So for me, that's hitting the gym, that's eating cleaner every single day, and that's also running. I started running a lot in the past 6-7 months now, since December. I couldn't even run a mile. And I hated running. But you know what I did? I ran even if it was snowing outside. I ran if it was even raining outside. It was my non-negotiable. Even if it sucked balls. I literally ran yesterday. And I'm not going to, expose myself on where I live, but it was like 93 degrees, humid as fuck. By the time I was done with my run, I could wring out my underwear and put it all in like a big ass cup. You know what I mean? That's how much suffering I had to go through on that run. But being able to do stuff like that, even if it's not running, hitting the gym or whatever, but having an activity outside of trading that requires you to have discipline, that's going to help you on the charts actually. Your little habits every single day. So if you wake up and you goon 3-4 times a day, that's not going to help you in the long run. You're just training your brain to be impulsive, to make you feel good about yourself. You see how that's correlated too? In order for you to, and I know this sounds corny and it doesn't make any sense right now, but it didn't make any sense for me too, is you need to be a different version of yourself if you want success in trading or if you want some sort of consistency. You cannot be the same chud that you were 5-6 months ago, a year ago, whatever it may be, 2 months ago, yesterday. You can't be that same chud, man. You're sitting over there wanting to make 20 bands a month and you can't even keep your hands off your meat. How does that make any sense? You want all this and that. You want the cars, you want the clothes, whatever. Shit, I dripped down in Ralph Lauren from these payouts, you know what I mean? And I deserve that because I stayed consistent. I stayed disciplined. I don't even know the word, but you guys get what I'm saying. And then another point being, to help you guys with that, is you have to understand that things take time. You have to have some sort of patience. You have to have, you know what, forget it. You're just going to need patience. You need patience. For example, let's say you don't see your setup yet, whatever, you have a macro time on when to trade, and you see a setup starting to form and it starts to shoot up without you. It's 3 minutes before your macro. Why are you taking it? Have some patience, because that's when a lot of people fuck up their own strategy, because they see something shiny and then they jump right into it without being patient, without being controlled, without being disciplined, without not being so impulsive. You have to have some sort of patience along with discipline, because discipline and patience are very similar. However, they serve two different purposes. You could be disciplined, but you could also be impulsive. For example, let's say market opens, right, and it just starts dumping. If you're an impatient trader, you're just going to click the short button, but you're disciplined enough to only take one trade a day. But those two don't exactly play off each other in that scenario, does it? But if you were patient and you were disciplined and you waited 5 minutes and then your macro finally opens up and you see the reversal point, now that probability of that setup going from like a random dump or like market manipulating lower to now you're actually taking the true move you want, and your win rate immediately skyrockets, and the probability of you hitting that trade skyrockets because you were patient and you were controlled. You were patient and you were disciplined. Patient, controlled, and disciplined. And you need that every single day. You can't just have one good week where you're acting really locked in, you're disciplined for 1 week. No, it's consistency too. A lot of people forget, just because you acted right for like 2 weeks doesn't mean jack shit, because you're going to do this for a long time. You have to keep consistent. And a tip that I'm going to give you guys is I recommend you guys start a trading combine. If you just blew your account, whatever it may be, start a trading combine, start a new one, start it with Top Step. I don't give a fuck if the rules or whatever, or like the payout rules suck on top. I don't care, bro. Half of these people that are watching my video don't even ever see a payout. So it's like, why do you care what the payout caps are? It's just ridiculous. Get your first payout first before you start talking about that shit, But the thing is, it's like, start that combine, put that 1 trade a day rule, scale down to 5 micros, and then every 2 wins, you scale up. Every 2 losses, you scale down. Do you see where I'm going here? Until you pass that account. And if you can do that, and it takes you maybe 2 weeks, maybe even a month, and you try and keep that exact same mentality until you get a payout, or your very first payout, or even just passing your very first account, then you've proven to yourself that you can somewhat stay disciplined, somewhat stay consistent. And over time, you keep doing this strategy of passing accounts or getting a payout. You're going to build it in your brain that, hey, this is how I should operate. I should be patient. I should be controlled. I should be disciplined. And more. You'll start to make smarter decisions every single day, and you're going to start caring less about losing. Because, guys, seeing a red screen on your shit for 1 day isn't going to mean it's the end of your fucking trading career. It's not. You can take a $500 loss Tuesday, come by Wednesday, the next day you're up a band. You've already washed that shit off and more. But if you over traded and you blew that account, you wouldn't have gotten that opportunity. And that's sad. Because there goes $85, $100 for that combine, or there goes your payout, and you're sitting there sorry as hell with your dick in your hand. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to just let things go. Is the number one thing I'll tell you guys, actually, is to let things go. Win or lose, you should just let things go. When I win, I celebrate it for like 5 minutes max. And then I go to work and I fuck off and I forget about it. Because this win today doesn't guarantee me anything the next day. As the inverse for a loss. Just because I lost today doesn't mean I'm going to lose again tomorrow. And if you do lose tomorrow, who gives a fuck? Because then you can win the next day. And if you don't, who gives a fuck? Because you can win the next day. You see where I'm getting at here? You guys have to have some sort of respect towards yourself and where you want to be at in terms of your trading goals, your life goals, whatever. Because if you don't have any respect for yourself and your time and your money, that's going to show. You have to care about trading. And sometimes caring about trading isn't just you sitting there grinding out, backtesting hours, you sitting there staring at the charts all day. That's not what it means to care. Sometimes it means to care is when you can learn how to fuck off. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Like, for example, I'll go over this. I've had this account for a week, I think. Well, I've been trading this account for a week, but there you go. These have all been my trades. Only taken 4 trades on this account. I've only taken 4 trades this week, and I'm not trading tomorrow because it's the 4th of July. But you see how even if I took this loss, I don't give a fuck. I walked off because I know the next day I could win, and then the next day I could win. Because it's in my statistics. I've already backtested my system. I have a high win rate. I've done it in front of you guys on YouTube. So why would I have to doubt myself and to disrespect myself and my ability to to perform, in my ability to stay calm. That's so disrespectful to me. And that's so disrespectful to my time, because if I blew this account, I'd look back and be like, damn, it took me 2 weeks to pass that fucking combine, and now it's gone. That time's gone. The money's gone. Your potential to make money is gone. You see how stupid it is that you're going to throw all of that away in one day because you're mad. What are you, 5? I'm sorry to degrade you guys, but seriously. Here's a funny scenario. If you're a dude, right? I doubt women watch my videos, but if you're a dude and you have 3 bad hoes in your room watching you chimp, just like, red day, I gotta win. You look like a dork. You look like a dork, son. But if you took that loss and you walked off like a G and you're like, it's nothing, I'm down 500, that'd be more impressive that, wow, he just lost $500, $700, $1,000, and he doesn't give a fuck. That's cool. That's cool to you. That's cool to your trading. That's cool to everybody. That's cool. It's cool as fuck. If I met somebody who was like, oh yeah, I have a live account, I lost 5 bands today, let's chill. That's actually aura compared to sitting there and watching somebody chimp out 4 or 5 trades in one day, maybe even more, and then they blow their account or they save it, right? But it's not impressive, because then it's just gambling. And that's where the stigma comes around for trading, that it's all just gambling. I don't even know if you guys understood my point in this video, but I think I've yapped enough and you guys understand the points that I'm trying to make. But please, again, here's a little little summary for this video is you need to understand that it is okay to lose. You need to understand that you need guidance and you need a mentor. You need to understand that in order for you to become profitable, you have to change who you are. So if you're an impulsive, angry, greedy person, you can't be that person anymore. If you're undisciplined, unmotivated, and you're impulsive and you're just yerking your shit in your room all day long, you're not going to be profitable, man. And even if people are out there gooning 8 times a day and they're still profitable, it's kind of sad, gang. You don't have the impulse to not touch your meat. You don't have the impulse to not touch your computer. You see how silly that shit is? But anyways, guys, stay patient, stay controlled, and stay disciplined. And if you guys can't get that down the first time, it's all about consistency. The more you try, and don't mistake this as more accounts you blow. No. The more you try to stay consistent and disciplined is the better it's going to be for you, the easier it's going to be for you to actually build that habit. Now, with that being said, guys, please don't forget to set those trade lockouts out. Don't fucking touch it. And if you do, you're going to regret it. And if you blow that account, I don't feel sorry for you. You should actually feel sorry for yourself and the time you've wasted. But with that being said, again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope I wasn't too all around. I actually don't really plan anything for these videos. I like to keep it as genuine as I can, so it feels like I'm actually talking to you guys one-to-one, because I'm not some big hotshot trader. I'm just somebody trying to help somebody else out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully by next week, because again, I'm not trading this week. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and have a good rest of your day. See you later.